Hey there, Julia here. Today I'm inking up a new set of pen and inks. And if you're curious about last month, that was a travel month and it went mostly well. My members know that there were quite a bit of ink changes even before I went to Ireland and the Netherlands for the Dutch pen show. But overall, it was a really solid month. So we are flipping things on its head a little bit for July. My local pen friend, Johnny, had an idea of let's do a shared prompt for currently inked this month, and I'm always down for a prompt. And so the prompt was pens that you haven't used before, let's ink those with inks that have never been in a pen. So we are totally just throwing ourselves to the wolves and to our instincts when it comes to pen and inks for this month. I think it will be super fun because the summer has been packed full of pen shows and stationery events for me. So I do have quite a few pens that have not been inked up yet, inks for that matter as well. And this month is really no different. At the end of this month, I'll be at the New York Stationery Fest. I'm teaching a workshop. I'll leave the link for the workshop down below. But we're going to be using different tools, swatching with inks. We're going to be learning how to paint with inks and just learning more about ink properties. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. But let's go ahead and get started. This first one I actually inked up at the end of June and haven't had much time with it, but I thought it was perfect to just roll over to July. And it is the Lavender Giraffe pen that I got at the Chicago Pen Show from Mike's Fun Pens. And just look at this. It is so gorgeous. This is like a creamy color and not white, which I really like. And I do love a good purple, but this one has a huge number 8 nib, and it surprises me every time I go to open it. I'm like, whoa, that's a biggie. But this is a Bach nib. It writes so beautifully, and I have inked it up with an ink I got at the Dutch Pen Show. This is Tono and Lim's Love You. And with it being a new quarter, I'm going to do a different layout for my currently inked. I'm going to be using my ink mascara, which I got at the Tokyo International Pen Show. So we're just spreading the love this month, but I'm going to be doing fun little zigzaggy swatches across the page with this. And this does have a fine nib. We'll definitely catch that a little better once it dries. But I was so excited about how legible this ink is. I was a little bit nervous whenever I initially got it that, ooh, did I mess up and get something that wasn't gonna be legible, too light? But no, it's perfect. I love this color. Next up is a pen that I've had for quite some time. I actually found it at a thrift store in Kansas, but the nib was a little iffy. So I sent it off to Kirk Spear with Pen Realm, and he worked on it for me and got it back to me at the Chicago Pen Show. So it is not a new pen, but it's new to me and I've never had it inked. This is the Montblanc 221, I do believe, and it's a very slimline pen, click cap, inlaid nib, and yeah, regular cartridge converter, like modern, but you know, a little seasoned. And I have this inked up with a sample that I've been sitting on for quite some time, and it is j.herbin Blue Pervinci, or Bleu. So bright and vibrant. And that's, I mean, I like my blues like this, or on the opposite side of things, kind of muted, typically. I didn't do any of my little thingies, so let's at least do a downstroke and a cross stroke. Yeah, that's flowing really well out of here, and the ink formulation itself seems really saturated, so that makes me very happy because I like my inks to really show up on the page. Next up is a recent acquisition from the Dutch pen show. I just love it so much. I find myself staring at it all the time. This is the Drunum floral pen. This model is called Orion, and it is just, we gotta do a twirl. It's just so pretty and whimsical. And I love that in here we do have blues and teals that we can match with. We have these really bright olive greens, some browns, and this really odd brownish pink coral color here in the flowers. So I had definitely some options here, and I decided to kind of go with this kind of odd corally pinky brown in there and matched it with a custom mix that I had done at the Chicago Pen Show, and this was by Sven's Ink Solutions, and this is Cam's Eyes Light. So the first kind of custom mix that I did matching Cam's eyes. I actually did another one at the Dutch Pen Show because he has kind of shifting hazel eyes, so depending on the light and the source of light, how bright the light is, sometimes they look super bright like this, and then sometimes they look like an olivey dark green. So very fun. Oh yeah, the nib on this one is a medium nib. Yeah, and it's definitely picking up a little more orange on camera as well, but Pisane. Wow, that's a really thick medium. We'll see how this goes. It looks so orange on camera, but it does match. We'll see whenever it dries down if we can see the match here a little closer. All right, this next one is just so beautiful. I'm just gonna show you. It is this Mondo Pioneer. Perla is the colorway, and it has mother of pearl inlaid all around it. Such a beautiful, almost a cigar shape. I mean, generally a cigar shape, but this end does taper down a little bit more than the cap. And just all the different colors in here, the way that it catches the light, it's really gorgeous. I got this at the Chicago Pen Show. Even on the grip section, we have that mother of pearl inlay. Gorgeous. Love it so much. And so many color match opportunities within here. I decided to go, of course, with a new ink to me that I haven't had in a pen yet. And this one I got at Atlas Stationers as a part of their affiliate program, and is by Colorverse. This is called December 7th, 1787, and this is part of their US State series, which just about all of my Colorverse inks that I have in bottles are from the State series, or they are like tied to a place. So that's really interesting, something I noticed while I was grabbing this bottle. But beautiful teal, I'll just show you, of course. Let's watch it. It's so pretty. Ugh. I feel like this one sits right on the line between teal and turquoise. Definitely a lighter teal in my opinion, but there's just so much in there. It looks so unassuming, but it is really beautiful. Oh, the nib, of course. I have a cursive smooth italic nib on here, which is similar to a stub nib, a little more round, a little more smooth, and yeah, it just adds a little bit of flair to the writing. And it's flowing so nicely out of this nib. And so with the cursive smooth italic, much like stubs, you get a thick downstroke and a thinner cross stroke. Next up is another Chicago Pen Show find, and this one had been on my wish list before the show, and so I'm so glad I was able to get it because they only had one of every different type of pen in a certain resin, it seemed like, so I feel like I really lucked out. This is from Canalia pens. Just look how beautiful it is. This is the Papa Kolia in Malele. Sorry if I am butchering that, but look how beautiful all of these details, not even aside from the details, look at the variation here in this resin. And then yeah, look at the finial, look at the metalwork here on the cap band. It's just really beautiful. And all of their pens are based on things that you would find in Hawaii. I got it with a broad, but it does have a fine nib in here now. And I have it inked up with Ferris Wheel Press Lost in the Leaves. But I love when that happens, when the name of the ink pairs well with the pen too. It's a beautiful deep green with some copper shimmer. Having some skipping issues, so I may have to open up the tines in here just a little bit. Seems to be on that downstroke. We will take care of that. But yeah, beautiful ink, and look at that match. All right, next up is a pen that I actually got for this past Christmas as a gift from my mother and sister-in-law, and it was a pre-order that they gifted me, and it just got delivered at the beginning of June. So lots of hype time. I was very excited to get this, and they were excited for me to finally get it as well. But well worth the wait because it's been on my wish list since it came out, I think. But yeah, a very long awaited acquisition. This is the Kilk Dusk, and this is from Endless Pens. You can just see how gorgeous it is with the teals and the blues and this little cheeky corally brown in here. The light catches it in some interesting ways where you get some really fun colors. Look at that. And then of course this beautiful metal work here along the body. So I think it would be easy for me with my crazy teal ink collection to go for something teal, but I decided to change it up a little bit and try an ink that's more along these kind of tan lines here. And I went with the Hearts Failing and Panini collaboration ink called Turkish Tea. My members and I recently just swatched lots of inks that I got from 2 different ink swaps that all were like different drinks, like cherry Coke and lattes and all of that. And it was so much fun, and such a fun coincidence that there were so many drink inks. The nib here is an extra fine, but it is affixed to the section of the pen. I think it's been glued down in there, so I can't change it yet. But we will cross that bridge a little later. So for right now, it is an extra fine nib. But it's flowing really well with this ink. Of course, we will see the match a little better once everything dries down. Next up, I have the Kaweco AL Sport in Vibrant Violet. This I found for a hell of a deal at the Chicago Pen Show along with the Iguana Blue Kaweco AL Sport. And if you remember from that kind of recap haul video, this one had some sort of like cursive, I'm going to say cursive smooth italic grind on it. And not only that, it is a gold nib. So I decided to ink this one up with an ink sample that I have had for quite a while and I've been wanting to put in a pen. I don't think I've put it in a pen, and it's also on my inks to use in 2026. So is Lost in the Leaves. So I'm marking a few of those off the list as we go along as well. Did I say what it was? It's Robert Oster and the Coffee Monsters Co. Day to Night. And I will tell you right now, this is a juicy writer. So I'm stepping out of my comfort zone just a little bit with this. and I'm excited to see how I put this to use this month. Yeah, I feel I'm gonna have to start way over here. We're gonna just put DT in, but very thick and juicy downstrokes, thinner cross strokes. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I am already thinking, like, I wonder if I can get another nib grind on this, but just bring down the line width a bit, because I love how soft and bouncy and beautiful this nib is. Like, not that I'm going to go and get 14 karat gold nibs for all of my Kawecos, but this nib makes a difference, I think. Not that, anyways, yeah, I love my Kaweco nibs. They're great, but this is like, ooh, a step up. It's an expensive step up, and yeah, so if you're curious, technically I got this for $45, the pin and the nib. Next up is a pin that I'm super excited to share with you. It actually launches today. If you're watching this on the video release day, it actually releases today. It is an exclusive with Stilo Stile, and I was so excited to work with them for the first time for this launch. As you may know, I am a Leonardo fan, and when I was shown and then sent this pen, oh my god, it's so beautiful. It is called the Leonardo Momento Zero, of course, and this colorway is called Radici, and it is just gorgeous beyond belief. I don't know if the camera is going to do it justice with the way that especially these like semi-transparent gold pieces catch the light. It's just really beautiful, a nice kind of spin on what you see typically with like tortoise looking pins, but this one is meant to nod to some of those classic pins from the 1930s, but in a modern form factor. So yeah, very beautiful, very excited that I get to show this off and write with it this month. And I have this inked up with an ink that I got in Japan. This is Bungukan Kobayashi Mount Fuji Sunshine. So, of course, you can match this pen with whatever, technically. But if you're going to try to match the body of the pen, there's these really lovely light areas. There's some middle browns in there, very warm. And then also like dark chocolate browns in there as well. But this time around, especially since we are in the throes of summer in the northern hemisphere, I wanted to go with a more sunny, bright color. And the nib I have on here is a fine nib. Very smooth writer. It seems to be a really good pair with this pen and ink. And legible, what a beautiful legible golden color. Possibly a dupe for this would be Robert Oster Honey Bee, maybe close to this. Look at the difference between this crazy Kaweco nib and this one. Like my writing looks completely different. Yeah, this is beautiful. Classic but modern. And then finally, we have to talk about the member's choice. So the member's choice is chosen by the channel members. Special thank you to the channel members for participating, for supporting the channel. I love you guys so much. And I told them this month that there was a prompt. I think I told them what the prompt was. Yeah. And then I said you could fall in line with the prompt if you want, or you guys don't have any rules. You can break the rules and just put in for something that you want to see me talk about or try or ink up. And the member's choice from this month falls in line with the prompt. And it's so funny because the pen that was chosen, I was wanting to ink up this month anyways before the prompt even came to be. But the ink that I wanted to ink it up with, I had put in a pen before. So I was like, well, shoot, I'll just save that for maybe August, just later on down the line. But the ink that was chosen by the members, I hadn't used before. So I said, you know what? Let's just do it. The pen will be here and I can ink it up again if I want to with the other ink. And so we're just going to go for it. This is by Artisan Handcrafted Pens. I got this in Chicago at the Chicago Pen Show, like many of these, it seems like. And I named it myself. Like, I'm sure the resin is not called the Star Child, but that's instantly what I thought of when I saw this pen, Waringal ink, the Star Child. And so I was like, I'm 1000% putting the Star Child ink in this pen. But the members chose differently. And it was an ink that I hadn't used and that I don't know if I would have chose for this pen ever. So we'll see how it goes. They even chose the nib, which we'll talk about as well. Well, we'll talk about it now. This has an architect nib on it. And so I will be twinning with one of the members who is also inking up an architect nib this month. And the ink that is in here is Van Diemen's Underflow, which is a super cool chroma shading ink. And I'm sure that they were going for the kind of like, this is like a bluish purple, but you can see that chatoyance pop in and some other colors. So I'm sure that's maybe what they were looking at and kind of picking up on. But I also thought it was a super lovely, summery type of ink. So the architect grind, pretty much the opposite of this cursive smooth italic or opposite of your typical stubs where you have this thick downstroke and thin cross stroke. For the architect grind, you have a thin downstroke and a thick cross stroke. And this was ground. Sometimes I get asked what they were ground from. This one was ground from abroad. And this is coming across way more legible than I thought it was going to. I was a little nervous about this because it does look, pretty light. I wonder if it's also because there might be some residual, because this is getting darker and darker, there might be some residual ink in here and will eventually kind of gradient out. So yeah, here we go. We have thin downstrokes, thick cross strokes. So yeah, this is a little more blue than I think I would have put in here, but that's what this is all about. Just trying different combinations and seeing what you guys think, seeing what sticks. But yeah, definitely this beautiful chroma shading property here. You kind of get a little bit of that here in the body of the pen as well. Ooh, and maybe some of the sparkles in here kind of match. Super subtle, yeah. Beautiful. So that's the member's choice. All right, there are the 9 pens and inks that I have going for July. I feel mostly confident about it. I feel like I chose well, especially since I have never used any of these pens for a whole month and I've never used any of these inks for an entire month. So excited to see where this goes. I love this palette. It is looking very summery, at least for me. And yeah, let's take a closer look at everything. All right, first up we have Mike's Pen Fun. This is the Lavender Giraffe with a fine nib, inked up with Tono and Lims. Love You. Beautiful subtle shading here in the writing. Next up is the Montblanc 221 with a fine nib. This is inked up with j.herbin Bleu Pervenchi. I love that I could technically choose any color for this pen. This is still looking really orange on camera, but it is more of a corally. This is Drunum Pensane in the Orion model floral with a medium nib, and it's inked up with my custom mix with Sven. This is Cam's Eyes Light. And luckily, this is looking a little orange on screen as well, so you can see how it is a pretty solid match to the florals in there. Next up is the Mondo Pioneer. This is the Perla colorway with a cursive smooth italic nib. And I have this inked up with Colorverse December 7th, 1787. Which, wow, look at that match. Next up, we have this beauty from Canalia Pen Company. This is the Papa Kolia, and it has a fine nib. It's inked up with Ferris Wheel Press Lost in the Leaves. Beautiful match. Love the little bit of shimmer here. Is this the only, yeah, this is the only ink that has shimmer this month. Next up is the Kilk pen in the Dusk colorway. Look at that match. It's inked up with Hearts Failing and Panini Turkish Tea. So yeah, you can definitely see it now, how some of these darker brownish orange sections match with the ink. Next up is the Kaweco AL Sport in Vibrant Violet. This has a cursive smooth italic 14 karat nib, and this is inked up with Robert Oster and the Coffee Monsters Co. Day to Night. Next up, we have the brand new Leonardo Momento Zero in Radici, and this has a fine nib. It's inked up with Bungukan Kobayashi Mount Fuji Sunshine. Beautiful match. Even the way that this pools, I know that this won't really happen in writing, but even the dark colors that it pools looks so good with this pen. And then finally, the member's choice for this month is from Artisan Ink Pens, and I'm calling this pen the Star Child, and it has an architect nib in it, and it's inked up with Van Diemen's Underflow. Beautiful. So there we have it, the July currently inked, never before used pens, never before used inks together. So very excited about the lineup. There's some really exciting pens and inks and just stories this month. So I really hope you enjoyed me going through all of these. Let me know what you have inked up for this month, what you're excited about using. Some of your favorite pen and ink combinations, always want to hear them down below in the comments. Be sure to also check out the description. I try to link as much as I can down there if you're interested in anything. And then of course, all the YouTube stuff, make sure to like if you enjoyed, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Consider being a member if you want to help choose the next member's choice and get some extra content along the way. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.